The San Francisco 49ers just had such a crazy season, going through 3 quarterbacks, eventually arriving at Brock Purdy, who could be the franchise solution. But a lot of people forget this all happens on the offseason. And well, the offseason's kind of beginning with teams being able to go over and tag players. So I thought it would be a cool look at how the San Francisco 49ers can go ahead and attack this offseason and really be out for blood. And one guy I just really wanted to touch on briefly is General Manager John Lynch. And this guy is such a great manager of a team. He really has such a great strategic philosophy on how to build a team. And he's shown an ability to pick up guys later in the draft that fit Kyle Shanahan's system. And with the offseason going on, General Manager John Lynch might be able to find some more great guys. But first we need to talk about the guys leaving the San Francisco 49ers or possible guys that we might want to bring back. The first main guy that's leaving is Azeez Al-Shaair, and he played linebacker, but I really don't see the San Francisco 49ers being able to pick him up again because, well, it doesn't really fit the San Francisco 49ers price tag. Right now they only have $8 million in cap space, and Azeez Al-Shaair wants to be paid like a starting linebacker, as he should be. Another player that they could bring back is Jimmy Ward. He has had issues with his health, so that might be something the San Francisco 49ers shy away from as well. Ebukam, he played that defensive end spot. I say let him go, let Drake Jackson play. Kicker Robbie Gould, I would bring Robbie Gould back because that guy is gold. So with all those people kind of wrapped up, or the major people, and then we also have Jimmy Garoppolo, which I would say let go because I think it's better to have Trey Lance and Brock Purdy on rookie deals, especially when you have other glaring weaknesses like the right tackle, who is also leaving probably in free agency because, well, he should. If the San Francisco 49ers re-sign him, I don't know about their commitment to beating teams like the Eagles because the Eagles do have a better defensive line than the San Francisco 49ers offensive line. And there is a way the San Francisco 49ers can actually attack this weakness right off the bat in the offseason. And that's by picking up Orlando Brown from the Kansas City Chiefs. He's up for contract, much like the San Francisco 49ers' Mike McGlinchey. He's also unsigned currently. His age is 26, almost 27. There are some issues. He is on the Super Bowl winning team, so he might want to stay there. But the San Francisco 49ers might be able to do some cap manipulation to actually get Orlando Brown in the building. That's something that would blow my mind if the 49ers and general manager John Lynch did. But there has been a report that the San Francisco 49ers have a position lined up for Colton McKivitz to be the starting right tackle once Mike McGlinchey leaves. And if they do that, I don't know how it's going to play out. I don't think he's actually that much worse than Mike McGlinchey. I feel like they're the same player, but it is kind of sketchy when you're thinking about trying to beat the teams like the Philadelphia Eagles. But if the 49ers don't make a splash in free agency that way, it's sure they're going to make a huge splash signing Nick Bosa. And talking about Nick Bosa and the defensive line, there's another guy that I think would be incredible if the San Francisco 49ers would somehow sign. And I know they're not going to be able to sign all these guys. I'm just throwing out some names right now. And this guy's Payne from the Commanders. He's a defensive tackle. He's on the interior. He would replace Javon Kinlaw super nicely. And then you kind of have a nice defensive tackle combination that would pair nicely with Bosa for years to come, hopefully. And let's not forget about Drake Jackson, who the San Francisco 49ers selected in the draft last year. And that guy probably will develop into the starting defensive end opposite of Nick Bosa. And speaking about the draft, let's talk about some players the San Francisco 49ers might want to draft. And the first glaring weakness for the San Francisco 49ers is the center position. They might have a guy in the rough in Jason Poe, but just in case, they should select a center with their first pick, which happens to be in the 3rd round. But luckily for them, I have the perfect candidates to go from. And the reason I say the weakness is the center position is because their starting center is probably leaving free agency too, if we're honest. Especially if they want to pick up someone that actually upgrades their team instead of just keeping it the same. And the guy the San Francisco 49ers could probably get in the 3rd round is Alex Forrest from Oregon. And this guy is 6'3" and weighs 303. His projected 40 is like 5'2" right now. We'll see how that goes. But I think he fits nicely. He's really reliable as a run blocker, which is so important in the San Francisco 49ers team. And he's also reliable as a pass protector. And I think he could get ready to play as a starter in a quick time, and maybe there's a way he can start this year. And if the San Francisco 49ers let Jimmy Ward and Gibson leave, they need to pick up a safety, so they'll have to probably do that as well. So let's go over some names that the San Francisco 49ers could pick up. And the guy I would love the San Francisco 49ers to pick up is another Ward, Jay Ward from LSU. This guy is 6'1 and 180 probably. He definitely needs to put on some weight, but I think he would develop into a nice starting safety alongside Talanoa Hufanga, and a cost-effective one at that. And he really shows off some ball skills in college. He had an interception and 4 pass breakups in 2023. And he also recorded 29 tackles, 3 pass interceptions in 2022. So it kind of was a fall off in 2023, but I think he's still a great safety. Another guy on safety that kind of intrigues me is J.L. Skinner from Boise State. He was probably a little bit slower than the previous guy I mentioned, but he was pretty solid throughout his whole entire career with Boise, so he could be a good option in like the 3rd and 5th rounds, like somewhere in between there, 3rd to 5th. So if San Francisco 49ers make those selections with their previous 2 picks, then they're left with only 1 3rd round pick left. And this is the guy I think they should sign, and this is a defensive lineman. And the guy the San Francisco 49ers should pick up is Byron Young from Alabama, and he weighs 292 pounds and 6'3". If he puts on some weight, he can definitely develop into a really solid starter in the NFL for a long time. I think he would even be better than Javon Kinlaw ever was, because he's really just been a solid contributor to Alabama his whole entire time since he's got there. So that's something that's impressed me. And while I'm not going to go over every single pick in the 5th round, I do want to make one selection, and this is mainly contingent on if Robbie Gould does decide to retire or leave or something like that, and that's picking up Jake Moody, the kicker from Michigan. He's 6'1 and 210 in the 5th round, and I think that would just replace Robbie Gould nicely. Obviously, it's hard to replace a kicker like Robbie Gould. And in the 7th round, I do want to make one more selection, because I think this is the Brock Purdy selection, and each year the San Francisco 49ers should draft a quarterback, and this is the quarterback I want. And the guy I would really like to see the San Francisco 49ers pick up is Clayton Tune from Houston. He's 6'3", 220 pounds. He's projected to run a 4.8 40. He started in 2019 was when his first start was, so he has a ton of experience. In 2018 he played 5 games, 2019 he played 7 games, 2020 8 games, 2021 14, and 2022 13 games. And he really racked up a ton of points in the 2022 season and completed 67% of his passes for 4,061 yards and tack on 40 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. It was a ton, and he has a great size, so this seems like a Brock Purdy type selection to me. And with some of these moves, I think the San Francisco 49ers will really be ready to take over and get a Lombardi trophy. So those are my thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts down below, and please subscribe, like, and all that good stuff. I really appreciate everyone that's given me so much support.